But anyways, so we're here talking about AI today.
AI.
I know, it's been such a crazy year or two with the introduction of AI on the mainstream level, really.
It has happened so fast.
It
I feel
has.
like just a year ago, there was just like rumors about this stuff, and then now it's like everyone uses it.
Right, and it's like growing exponentially. It's just everywhere you look, and it's like every time you look at an app, it has AI, and it does this, and it does this. Like even the app that I'm trying to start for my coaching business, or for the coaching business, is now it has an AI assisted creator. Yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna make it so much easier, because I wasn't gonna pay them the $2,000 they want me to have someone call me or help me set it up.
Right.
But now it has a free AI introduced into it. So now it helps you create everything, and it prompts you. And I was like, this is so much better.
It does make... You really are the one that introduced me to using it for like financial gain and for business and stuff. And it just like makes it so much... It makes this podcast
Possible.
So, yes.
More possible.
Yeah. It just cuts the time quite literally by like a 10th.
From the research, it's like an educated response instantaneously, and it's a personal assistant, and it's a brainstorming buddy, and it's everything you can want it to be. It edits photos, it edits videos, edits everything, and it's so crazy that our world is going towards this, and there's such controversy,
That's the thing. There's so much controversy and controversy.
That's a hard one.
Speaking is one of mine. But yeah, there's so this is almost like a touchy subject, but everyone has an opinion on it. Good or bad, everyone has an opinion on it.
Yeah, and you can have multiple opinions on it. It's back to that duality where it can be good, but it also can be bad in certain ways. It just depends what is more important to you. So it's like we were talking about personal experiences first. Like I use it with this coaching business, with my daily posts, as a content creator, it's demanding of you that you post daily or multiple times a day, and you need to have full read out content, and you need to be full thought out, full flushed out, fully recognizable, readable for when the algorithm does pick it up and people do see it,
Right.
That's a whole nother thing. But it's like, you have to put so much effort into this, and you're not getting paid for it.
Right.
Until you make it someday, which could be a year or two in, 6 months to a year, depending how good and savvy and how much effort you're putting into it. And it really is individual dependent, but it makes it so much more manageable.
It does. Now,
especially as yourself. Sorry.
Exactly. But let me play devil's advocate. Now we'll go with some of the cons. Now, I'm a big environmental person, and so I feel like huge hypocrite. I know. Okay, don't even call me out. So I don't abuse AI because I know how bad it is for the environment. So I don't before I used to ask it just like the stupidest questions. Like I'm actually so embarrassed that I'm gonna admit this. The first time, and this was when you had introduced me to ChatGPT, and I went home and I was just asking it just random things because I was like, wow, this is insane. This is so cool. And so then I was like, ooh, it's getting a little bit late. I'm going to have AI write me out a little fantasy. And I literally had AI write out a fantasy novel for me.
But that's what's cool about
using my name and my crush's name.
Hey, we all have our wants and needs, and that's kind of a cool thing that it can be personalized to you that otherwise you would not have that. Who else is going to write you a fantasy novel?
Yeah, I screenshotted it. I kept it. Okay, so I'm not going to have to reuse it. But yes, now that I know the repercussions on the environment, I do not do fantasy novels anymore.
I will say I do use it primarily, actually only for helping me flesh out ideas. I can give it a backbone, or it can give me a backbone. I'll be these are the ideas I want to comprehend, and it will help me put it in a more manageable way, and it will give me other ideas to add into it. So I love that aspect of it. I totally understand how people are also saying it's taking away like your thought, like your
the creative
critical thinking.
Oh yeah.
Or even your creative thought, critical and creative, that you're not challenging yourself to think anymore. And I do get that aspect as well, but it's what you put into it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's only as smart as you prompt it. And some people are keen on, I guess, prompting it correctly to get exactly what they're looking for so they can automate everything. And isn't that the point of it, is making life easier? And, and as the environmental impact, I do understand that. And it is, I don't know, it's almost, and it's hard to say in the name of progress, but it's at the same time, we should be using this AI to help figure out better solutions to our problems.
I was gonna say, now that we have a tool that literally we can ask it anything and it knows pretty much everything, what we need to do then is use it to come up with solutions to these problems. But
exactly, help it
I don't
brainstorm.
know. I don't know if we are.
I don't think so either, because is there money in it?
Exactly, that's the thing.
And money will trump all, because that's what always does trump, is money. And it's unfortunate, but I hope that it will bring about progress in a sense that we better take care of our waste, or we have better ways to do things without waste, and hopefully we do progress so quickly, that it's not going to be too much of a detrimental impact. That's what we can hope. But I would say on the converse side, we're holding ourselves back by not allowing ourselves more automated flow. So like the idea is, if we automate our workload, such as like the just like the typing and the physical aspects of creation, that we have more energy and ability to flow creatively. And so we're not so bogged down by the physical draw of it, and we are amplifying our powers to produce. So it's very hard in its own self, and to like comprehend it. I get it.
But anything can be abused. I firmly believe that anything can be a tool, any medication, anything can be great.
I mean, we're still fighting about guns.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not the person, it's the gun.
Yes.
And they still don't get, or I mean, it's not the gun, it's the person.
Yes. No. I got
You understand?
like, yes.
Yes. Wait. I was like, I said that wrong. But yeah, what I do mean, it's the person who's the beholder of it all.
Yes.
And in the right hands, great things can come of it. If
right.
used correctly.
Anything can be good or bad. It's back to the duality. Everything goes back to duality.
Everything's a damn paradox as you get older. And it makes life so much more difficult. And I see why people shy away and just shut up. Because as soon as you speak out, you have everybody else pointing fingers on the opposite side.
Right.
Because you don't always see the opposite side until you say something and people speak up. I'm trying to be better about that before I say things, but that's why we have apologies and say, hey, I was stupid, now I was ignorant, and now I know. Thank you.
Growth.
Yeah, we can all grow, we can be wrong. So if people are going to be mad at what we're going to say, it'd be like, okay, thank you for that perspective we didn't consider.
As long as you learn and you grow, that's all that matters.
I don't think you can go wrong. But then when it does come to like the video she showed me on TikTok of this guy saying you don't want a big tech company such as these data warehouses coming to your small town in Iowa, because they're just going to drain pollution into the land and the water and such as that. And I do get that. And maybe it's we figure out how to better manage those things. But there's so much that happens behind closed doors that we're even knowledgeable of. Like, there's so many towns in rural America that are sick, that have recurring cancers, of things that the federal government's been doing beyond what we say, and they will continue to do so beyond what safety measures they believe. They'll have somebody say, no, it's safe, we can do this. As long as you do this, you'll be fine. You don't have to worry for 100 years.
Right. And by then you'll be dead. Oh, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of those inevitable things that we do not have control over. So we can stand up and defy it, or we can make the best of it. You don't have to live in these towns. You can leave. You can move. And I understand that brings up the whole thing, like you can't and all this stuff, but it's like we do pick our battles in life, and things that mean the most to you, you'll make happen. If you want it enough, you'll get it to happen. But there's also the picking the battles. We have to choose our battles. We can't defy the government in the grand scheme of things because they are the government. We are very minutia, unfortunately. And I don't like to have that thinking. We do want to create a community and people band together so we can stand up to the inequalities. But that comes to voting. It comes to people getting into Congress that deserve to be there. And I understand there's all these there's like controlled voting and all that stuff. It's sad, but it really does come down to that. You got to vote. You got to make sure people vote the people that need to be in power to be in power. Yes. That's what it comes down
to. That's step number 1. That's just the bare minimum. That's
Educate yourself
something everyone should be doing. If you're over 18, it affects you.
Yes, educate yourself and vote, or you can't complain when somebody in power does something you don't like.
Which, speaking of voting, I think with AI, and they are starting to make more laws and regulations and whatnot, but I think that's also like a step 1 of how we can make it more safe. Even like cut back on the pollution and negative things. We need more regulations right now. I think it's just almost like the Wild West right now. It's new, like no one...
I do agree.
No one knows what to do.
Exactly. So much can be done with it. Yes. That there needs to be restrictions until it's better planned out.
Yes, because we were talking about then one of the cons being your likeliness stolen and used either AI inappropriately avatars. Or not even inappropriately, but I've just seen it used like people that I know and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this you in an ad? And they're like, no, that's AI. I'm like, what? It's just like a random person. So
it was a random person that looked like them?
No,
or do you think it was actually them?
They literally used like their stuff, but you could see the mouth didn't quite fit. And so they must have used like a video of them and then like changed the...
You can do it off a picture.
Yeah, or maybe that's it.
I just saw this new app or thing on CapCut that people are posting. It's like your virtual boyfriend. And it's a picture and all of a sudden the picture comes to life like you. And this like hot hunk comes through and like kisses you and you like animate and turn towards him and kiss him. And he like holds you. And I'm like, this is new level.
That's all I want.
I'm just like, wow. I was like, it's getting crazy as we speak. You know what I mean? And that's where I think a lot of it spurs it is loneliness. People want companionship, and people are willing to use, or a lot of people I do know use AI as companionship. And there's nothing wrong with that because, but there is a reason when it comes to therapy, it is it is a yes man.
It is. That's the thing.
Man. I specifically tell mine I tell it to give me multiple perspectives on things when I do ask it about things, so it's not like feeding me what I want, but you also have to be smart enough to know that you need to learn more outside your bubble.
Must be self-aware. You can't use ChatGPT as your self-awareness. You need to have your own.
That's why you can't use it as a therapist, because it's only going to feed into what you need to hear, and it will give you good ways to make understandings of your emotions. Like I've seen it do with kids. Like, Tommy, you shouldn't hit. Like, say, oh, this kid pushed me, and it'll be like, hey, Tommy, it's not okay to push on people or hurt people, and it's okay to feel sad and mad about it, but we, and then it like went into like how we process it or something at that child's level, that could like diffuse the situation, but say, I don't have to be angry back. So there are these things that it can be it's a good coach in a way. But it's only as good as you can prompt it.
That's the thing.
So back to the self-awareness. If you're not self-aware, you're not going to be good. And that's the same with therapy. Therapists don't pick through, unless you go to the certain therapists that do, but it's like the psychotherapist. But if you go to a regular therapist, it's only as good as what you bring to therapy. Exactly. If you bring in your perspective of everything, they're going to, of course, say, oh, yeah, you're right. You're a terrible person. They're a narcissist. But if you're able to say, I do see where I do this and I don't like that about myself. Yes. Or I see where I do this and I impose this. And then you talk it out and you can get to the solution, if you're aware, though.
Yep, that's the thing with therapy.
Yeah, therapy only works if you're self-aware. And that's the downfall, is people just learn all these therapy terms to better manipulate others.
I was going to say some of your worst humans walking the earth are in therapy.
Just being spoon-fed what they want to hear.
Yes.
Because their narrative is one-sided.
Yes.
I know. I've experienced those people.
Same.
You're like, how have you made it around so well?
So where do we draw the line, I guess? Like, where do we say this is okay, but this is too far? Like, what? I know it's still really early, but I guess where can we draw the line?
Yeah, so I hear like on social media, a lot of it's going to go, since a lot of us are creators, it's going to go to online avatars, like AI avatar creators will just start uploading scripts written by AI and then put under their face that is automated, animated, and just to sell and to be bigger and socially. And I think you're going to start seeing maybe people shy away from social media as much because it's, or maybe to a different form. I don't know. But it's like, I feel like it's going to take over in a sense of creators.
How about the misinformation? That might get a little scary because AI is getting smart fast to the point where there's some videos and I'm like, oh, I'm falling for this shit when I'm old.
Exactly.
Like,
but see,
I'm
these tools, that's the thing. It's like a tool. It's like a scam or call scammer. You know, they're going to scam you like, I'm a prince of Namibia and I'm a long lost cousin and I need money and I have a fortune. It's just like that. It's like, I feel like we have to be better at our defense. Like there's going to be like a norovirus, like AI tracker. Like it'll be able to say, this is AI, this is AI. And then you'll have to have your own AI double check it and be like, is this real? No. And hopefully we'll just have like some kind of program that layers over our computer and can kind of like watch and say, this is fake, like this is
like
just
a fact check, like a real life
fact checker. So like to the novice person, you can scroll on and it says real or fake or AI or real. So I feel like that is a good way to go. It's like have some sort of software that identifies what's true, what's not, what's AI and what's real. And I don't think that would be too difficult because AI is already there.
Yeah.
You can have one watching your computer and it's just analyzing everything you click on or go across, and it can alert you every time it sees some misinformation. You know, like a warning, this is not real.
That's your next big break.
Maybe.
There you go.
I mean, let somebody else do it.
No one steal that idea.
I'm sure it's already on the precipice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sir, we've known that
but it's
for
just
50
like,
years.
you know, with guns, you know, you create bigger guns to outdo the smaller guns. And it's like, we have to defend ourselves to what does come out. And it's a progress that's not going to stop. It's already broken out. It's already everywhere. There's so many competitors equally at this, and it's just an inevitability at this point. And nothing's going to change on the big lawmaking field because they're only going to profit from it. Society will only profit from it progressively, in a sense, I think, for coming up. Hopefully. I don't know. If people do, I think people that are afraid of it as a sense of replacing them, then you're only seeing yourself as a tool as well and not as a creative. We are people that use tools. We are not tools. And I think a lot of people get that confused. And that's why they get threatened by AI. You know what I mean? And AI is creative in its own way, but it still doesn't get to the human level of creativeness. And if it does surpass yours, and you're just not trying as hard, I feel sometimes. I mean, because I can let it be creative for me, but then I can think of something and it's so much better because it's on point to where I'm at and what I know.
It's more authentic.
It's more authentic, exactly. It will never be authentic beyond what it's prompted.
Right. And so, yeah, I think people just need to be aware of the impacts and be aware of the cons, but then they can use it for the pros. But then just be aware of the cons and set your own boundaries.
Learn how to evolve with it. Learn how to evolve with this new tool. Learn how to make it useful for you. To build that skill. You know, even if it comes to using AI to create things for other people. I see people going into that. Like, I know people that know they're graduating with AI degrees and they're like building AI engines that are creating apps for people, you know, because they have learned how to do it easily and then they just go do it for others, you know.
So how do you feel about, this just came to my mind. How do you feel about people in college using ChatGPT? Does that worry you or no?
I feel like AI and education is going to be intertwined regardless from here on out. It'll help solve the teacher shortage and, you know, and it'll be individualized, you know, put kid in an iPad. And then you got individualized, tailored learning at their speed and their way of learning and interactive and it's storytelling. Like I've seen, it's crazy. Like you can upload information to this one app and it'll create a podcast of two people talking the information.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, Notebook LM.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, Mike's using it to study for his real estate, and it's just talking about real estate shit.
Oh my gosh,
back and forth.
That would help me learn so much easier if I could like see that
exactly.
instead of read it.
Well, that's exactly what it is. You're not even seeing it. You're just listening to this podcast of two people talking, and then you can click in, and they'll be like, "Oh, are you, the listener wants to ring in with something," and you can ask them a question, and then they talk to you and explain things that you didn't understand in a different way. And I was like, this is going to change education on the mass. So
see, that is a total pro. I think the con of that would be people just typing in like the questions in ChatGPT and then just writing it out and not retaining any of the information.
I think you have things during school time that are locked out of certain things, technology advances, you know what I mean? So it's just a kind of progressing with everything with it. Yes. Everything needs to raise up with it because it is raising up regardless.
Yes.
And it
will
be in everything.
It's here.
Regardless. It's already in air fryers. You know what I mean?
Oh, the military's been using it since who knows
So
how
it's
long.
just like something we're going to have to learn to live with. It's like the internet. You can say, oh, screw the internet, but it's still in everything we touch.
There was such an uproar when the internet was invented. And now look, it's you quite literally
Same
can't survive
with the television.
Like you literally, so yeah, you either have to.
But look at all the progress the internet has brought us. Look at
exactly. When used for good, of course there's bad. There's the dark web. There's terrible things on the internet. But when used for good, oh my gosh, it changed everything.
I feel like if you follow your intuition on things, you can't go wrong. And I feel like it is here for a good use. It is here to bring us up. It is here to help us not work as hard, but to be able, it's going to allow you to be the entrepreneur you need. Like the stuff that I do, I would need a team of people to do this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just us two.
Like, yeah, like 10, 15 years ago, it would be like even 5 years ago, it would be a team of people at least. You know what I mean? Like 5 people doing the marketing, you're doing this, you're doing this. But no, you got to learn and you just hopefully find the apps that help you. And I mean, it's so interesting. It's another perplexity of the world that we have to get on board with, and hopefully we can get ahead of it before it gets ahead of us.
Yes, either you use AI or AI is going to use you.
And that's just like you learn from the past. When something new comes out, you don't need to control it, but you need to have regulations on it in a sense that it doesn't need one person controlling it. We need to all have rules on how it's operated.
Exactly.
Yes, and used.
And I will say just one last thing that I wanted to add to the parents, if there's any watching this. So something that I stopped to do, I used to post my kid all the time on my social media. And now I'll only post like the back of his head or like the side or something like that. I
like that though.
Because I have seen and I'm using the word inappropriately very lightly, inappropriate videos of just random people's children being turned into things that are sold to a different demographic. And that scares the out of me. So,
like we were talking, how you can somebody turns your picture into an OnlyFans AI avatar that's now having sex on the internet, and that's not you, and you didn't give that okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I could totally see it being used on the internet for pedophiles as well.
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, once that stuff's out
there, pedophiles are sneaky. They're like the smartest and sneakiest ones.
Yeah, and so that is just a little warning to the parents to how we can stay a little bit. We can use AI and we can support AI, or even if you don't support it, it's obviously out there anyways. So here's how you can
We can't ignore its existence.
Right.
No matter what, you can't be...
You can't say, okay, I won't use it so it won't affect me. No, it's still going to affect you.
Yeah, it's like saying, I'm not going to eat meat, so that'll end the meat industry. No, everybody else is eating it around you.
Yeah, you got to do... Yes, you have to... Like we were talking about boundaries just the last episode. So just learn how to set those boundaries. Maybe that'll be the challenge. Learning what are your personal boundaries with AI.
Yeah.
Is it something that you're like, nope, I don't want to take part in that. So here's how I'm going to protect me and my family or whatever. Or are you interested, intrigued, or do you already use it?
But we want to hear from you.
Yes.
We want your comments, DM us, email us, whatever feels comfortable to you. Text us if you know us personally, and we just want to hear what people's thoughts are so we can bring it out into the open. We're always here for new perspectives of our own as well. We're all here.
Yeah, because we want to learn too.
Yeah, we're all
like
here
if there's
to
something
grow.
we missed,
Yes.
please educate us.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are
love
growing exponentially every day. We're up to 30 subscribers on YouTube.
It might be 31, okay?
Hey.
It might be 31 now, okay?
But we're growing.
We are. So I want at least 3 of the 30 of you to
10%.
tell us your opinions
On AI. And it can be anonymous. It doesn't have to have a name behind it. We just want to hear other perspectives.
Yeah. Because I'm still learning too. It's oh my gosh, because it's really like an endless tool.
Yeah.
So
it helps us,
endless learning about it.
It helps us set this podcast up in a cohesive way instead of just us rambling at you.
Right.
It allows us to say, okay, let's start here, and then you can round here. We're not doing word for word, but we have our board set up so it keeps us in our categories and we can
Keeps
flow
us on
better.
track.
Yeah, so you can understand us better. So it helps. That's the point we didn't touch on, is the neurodivergent aspect.
That's right. Okay, yes. Going back.
So yes, even on the neurodivergent aspect, I think it helps us even better than the regular person, because we've needed something to help us organize the chaos that is in our mind that doesn't necessarily always come out correct or translated for other people. It helps me translate my thoughts so much better and cohesively, and better that people can read it easier. And it's otherwise I'm like, this is jargon. I think it makes sense because the way my brain works. But it's it just helps it flow. And I've learned how to speak better and write better reading how it writes what I want it to write. I'm like, I want to talk about this and this and this and this and this. I want to get this main theme across. I want to hit this main point. And it goes, bleh, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see how it organized it here and how it organized this information here. So you learn from it. But I feel like it just helps us have a voice more easily. It helps us come up more easily, where we need a team of people. It's like, nope, it can help us here, it can help us there. And it just...
Because I get burnt out so fast over doing this little just... bullshit stuff. I get so burnt out, and then I'm like, okay, forget it, I don't want to do any of it. So it's like you're a free assistant.
I will say that too. Yeah, as soon as I get frustrated, I shut down.
I'm like,
and we're done for the day.
Yeah. And
that's how I have been too. Even with the AI, it still can be. You can get to the burnout level, because constantly social media is asking you to produce and post daily or triplet every day, and TikTok's just like, do more, 300 views, more, 200 views. And I'm like,
let me out.
I'm just like,
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
They've got us wrapped around our finger. So, if you're trying to make it as a small business in today's age, AI is your best friend. It will help you come up, especially if you're neurodivergent. But it will help everybody,
Because, yes, I do see how it can take jobs, but I think as humans, then we just need to get ahead of it and learn how to use it to create new jobs.
Unfortunately, I feel it's taking jobs. This might be an unpopular opinion. It's taking jobs that were low-skilled jobs. They were
factory jobs.
They were low-skill level jobs in the first place, like telephone operators. No negating anybody's job or profession.
But
I see it's
jobs.
like maybe challenge yourself more. Don't be just a tool. Don't be a tool. Be a thinker. Think for yourself.
Don't
Create
be
for
a
yourself.
tool. Use a tool.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm not saying bashing anybody, but I'm saying challenge yourself more to be more. And I'm not saying everyone has that ability.
Right.
But if you have the ability, I always suggest try. But I understand life can keep us stuck, but we all need a goal in life. Your goal shouldn't just be to stay where you are, right?
Yeah, and honestly, if you have ever been personally affected by AI, let us know in the comments. If there's something that we're missing, please let us know. We are open to any and all opinions.
Yeah, and how do you
anything.
feel about it? Let us know. Did it make you go reach out to be more?
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
Or have you been negatively impacted on it,
yes.
with it, by it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, negatively impacted, you could lose your job. But did
Right.
that challenge you to be more or go find a similar job? You know, that's what I want to know. I want to know if
Give us
losing
the
that,
tea.
I want to know if that negative impact was enough to push you to be more in your life than what you were. That AI already took over. Because AI can't take over
here.
too high skilled stuff. So I feel like if you're resting, it may
I don't
come
know.
for
I
your
feel
job.
like eventually we're gonna have an AI president.
You know,
I
if
feel-
it's smarter and more diplomatic,
I was
okay.
gonna say, honestly, I might vote for it.
I might vote for it too. At this point, my chat GPT knows more shit about than most people in charge. You know what I mean? And they don't have a biased opinion.
I was gonna say yes, but it usually is a little left leaning, even though it's not biased. It just goes on facts.
I think
It uses facts.
It's life leaning.
Yes.
It's like it
Yes.
wants to self-protect itself. It wants to protect other life in a sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it leans on the side of fairness in life. You know, which unfortunately is left leaning.
Which is somehow political.
Somehow political that you care about other people's lives.
How blue-haired of us. But
I know.
yeah, is there anything else you want to add? I feel like
That was pretty good.
we covered a lot of the pros. There's so much.
We want to hear back from you so we can continue this into a part 2 and talk about the different perspectives that we are hearing.
Yeah. So yeah, we can't do that without your help. Let us know.
Yeah.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Chris. Till next time.
Bye.